So, you want to be a cinematographer? You go and buy an expensive camera, like a Sony A7S III. You book your holiday to Bali. You watch some YouTube videos and they'll all tell you, you shoot on manual, use the 180-degree rule, manual exposure, manual white balance, and off you go. You do everything by the book. You set every shot you take, you do your white balance and set it up, make sure it's perfect. You come back home and half the shots, the white balance is just horrible. It's just completely off. Why did this happen? Well, that's because in certain scenarios, auto white balance is the way to go. Auto exposure is also the way to go. So you would go from one place to another and there would be a different light source. These places have different colored lights everywhere, especially at a holiday destination. You walk from a green light to a blue light to a red light to a white light, all in a matter of 2 minutes while you're talking and doing shots. So you can't always keep your white balance static. Agreed, in a setting like this, where everything's exactly static all the time, I'm running full manual settings on pretty much everything right now. It does make a lot of sense, but sometimes you just have to run auto settings. And I've been playing around a lot with the A7S III in lots of various scenarios. And the white balance is a little odd. It's not always 100% accurate. Sometimes it tends to be too warm, but it varies. It's not static. It's not always 2 clicks too warm or 200 kelvins too warm or whatever you want to call it. It sort of varies depending on the light, and sometimes the light changes but it doesn't. And I've played around with the settings a little bit, and here's the settings that I've found that actually works the best for auto white balance. So basically what you do is you go into your menu, go to your exposure options, and there will be obviously the white balancing option. And they go to priority set auto white balance. You'll see the standard is auto white balance. Then there's an ambient setting, and then there's a white setting. So just set it to the white setting. Go back to, I'm actually not sure where it is, but I've got a special button that you click and you basically see, no, not that one. You basically see this. It's one of the function buttons. And there's a little arrow there next to the auto white balance. You basically click that, and now you can use your control dial to adjust the position of the dot. That basically compensates a little bit for the auto white balance. And I find that B1, M1 works the best. So it's blue 1, magenta 1. And yeah, that's it. Try the setting, see how it works. And yeah, let me know in the comments if that works. I just find that in most settings, that is actually the most accurate. I think the auto white balance sort of chooses between ambient light and the light coming through the lens. That's what I think it does. I should probably read the manual, but yeah, that's what I think it does. So I think it's got a sensor somewhere on the camera that senses ambient light, and then obviously it gets lights through the actual sensor, and it sort of chooses which one to go with. But the ambient light one I just find is not very reliable, especially when you're on locations where you are standing in maybe a bit of a warm light, but you're shooting towards a bit of a blue light or a white light. Then it turns everything to blue. So I just find that it should just not use the sensor for ambient light. It should just look at the light coming through the lens. Then it actually is fairly spot on. Then you can use the white balance coming from the camera, and you can run and gun as you wish. You don't have to worry about white balance anymore. If this information has been helpful, then remember to click the button. And if you want to see more, remember to subscribe. Until next time, ciao.